welcome back to Ant News and another update on the Ballymena fraud case. You can't make this stuff up. Anyway, so for 2 years, actually to start ago, 5 years ago, somebody got paid benefits, legally, completely lawfully. And then 3 years later, somebody in DWP investigated tippy-tap. Oh, we think you were overpaid, and they just clawed back nearly £7,390 worth of benefits. And there was no appeal on this. It was just one phone call, mate. They just asked one question and then they made a decision. So within 5 days, we put in a mandatory reconsideration with the paperwork that proved they were wrong. And I thought that was the end of it. And I left this person to deal with things. Anyway, it carried on and the mandatory reconsideration didn't happen. We got a letter with a written statement of reasons, which was completely wrong. The mandatory reconsideration took a whole year, or 3 days short of that. It was done on Easter Sunday, I think, or Easter Saturday. I'm probably on overtime, sat at home, you know. Anyway, they got that decision wrong as well. So we went to tribunal. And we put the tribunal paperwork in the October last year, and there was no response in November, and they're supposed to respond within 4 weeks. And then there was no response in January, so we, asked the judge to intervene, and he intervened, probably in writing, and DWP just put the white flag up and said, "Yep, you've won. Speak to your job coach." Right, so we messaged the job coach and said, right, okay, you have been taking between £82 and £93 a month deductions of this DWP debt that I don't owe. So you've taken 18 of those and we want it back. DWP refused to acknowledge our request, so we put in a second request in via the journal, and no response again. So we put a third request in via DWP complaints website, no response. So, well, we can't go to the appeal. What's it called? I've forgotten the word. Ombudsman, the independent case examiner, until you've got a letter with a final response from them. So we're going to go to the court, and we basically sent a letter before action to DWP legal team. No response. So I'm thinking, right, okay, I've got to sit down and make another court bundle up. And that's quite a lot of work. You've got to put 3 copies of everything, go to your court and put in a claim for damages. But 3 days later, they'd slid. 3 days before the deadline of our DWP complaint, they slid the money that they had taken back into the bank account. Except there was no interest, no compensation, and no recognition of what they'd done wrong. So the trouble is that the victim in this case had not had access to her money. She had had 2 rent increases and couldn't afford another one. And the landlady decided just to give a 56-day notice to quit. So she was actually made homeless. Also, her dad passed away and she hadn't got enough of her money to go to his funeral. So we feel there's quite a serious case here. They basically made her destitute and homeless because they won't give her the money back and compensate her for the loss of that money and the fact that she couldn't fight in what is a very ferocious housing market in this area. DWP pay. They were paying £925 for a 3-bedroom house, and 3-bedroom houses rose to £1,300. Now Rishi moved the goalposts and said that either we pay the 30th percentile again, and they've risen to the benefit level. I believe it's risen to 1,050. Well, it's still £1,300 rent. There's nothing to rent in this area on Rightmove anywhere near that number. So I don't quite understand how the valuation office have got to that number, but that's another battle. Anyway, we have suddenly got a flurry of letters. Well, on my letter to the solicitors, they won't answer to me because they hadn't got written authorisation. So we provided written authorisation, but I get back another letter, and it really does make... You have provided a correspondence address for me. However, you have not confirmed what number he lives at. Once you confirm the house number, we can respond to the item on your behalf. This house has a name. This road, they all have names. This is the New Forest. We do not have that many houses with numbers. This is supposed to be a senior manager answering this. I find that shocking. They've also gaslit the complaint. That, thank you for your email of April about universal credit. I'm sorry for the length of time for the reply. It's not a claim about universal credit. They stole this money had been paid. They stole it back. It was theft of money from her money. And there's a number of things you've got to look at here. They're committing, they've used a false test to take her money away. They should have gone to the Decision Makers Manual, the DMG, and Rule 1 of Rule 3 of DMG. DMG 0030 is you must follow DMG. And Rule 6 is you must follow the UK law. So they've done neither, and this is misconduct in public office. So they've created a false debt. They've transmitted that debt to DWP debt recovery, and then they've recovered 18 counts of fraud by misrepresentation. What planet are they on? Then they go back to, they keep not reading our letters and submissions and just making, we didn't realise that you'd written in. I don't quite get it. I really don't. Anyway, we did send them back quite an interesting reply. Sort of basically, there has been no attempt to follow the process. Please do not try and rewrite the history of this case. You've already had 11 weeks or 56 working days to address this case. DWP were emailed in 5th of April with notification of intended litigation escalation number 4. And their response was, due to the complexity of your complaint, having just had an extra 21 days to do this, we would like, it's taking longer than we anticipated. So we are able to provide you with a full response at this time. So, I don't know. But we have got the authorisation now to go to the independent case examiner. The question is, do we wait for DWP to reply? Do we go to the independent case examiner, or do we continue with the court case? The independent case examiner appears to have a 1-year wait. And this is just not acceptable. And in reality, I've rescued this lady from being destitute using the money to get her another house to rent and deposit. And the money basically was there for my wife's disabled bathroom. We were supposed to be ripping out the shower tray that's there with a stab and putting in a wet room. And kind of, I'm tempted to go to court, but anyway, we're arguing that case at the moment. Anyway, that is the update on the Ballymena fraud case. And it's called the Ballymena fraud case because it started in Ballymena, but it's gone to St Austell, they got involved. But nobody has this really winds me up. Nobody has got a name. It's decision maker, office manager, and it's like, this one was just yours sincerely and a blank space. So, what's this one say? This one, yeah. Oh well, no. Anyway, I don't know. This case will continue. This has parallels with the post office inquiry case, the Horizon case, because they're gaslighting our responses. They're not. Anyway, I don't know. People, I don't know. No, I'm not going to say any more. All I'm going to say is thank you for watching, and if you're in a similar situation, just message me, and I might be able to point you gently on a few directions. I'm Tony, Ant News, signing out. Thanks for watching.